My name is Audrey Clark, and I am a leadership business for, oh, I've got all sorts of things going on here. Oh, hang on here just a second. Um, and I work with holistic businesses to help them move their business forward and scale. So today I have Bradford Batten with my business partner joining me. One of the things that I really encourage all of my the people that I work with is to have a really good team, and everybody on the team needs to understand, how to work with each other. So with that, Bradford is my bookkeeper and I love working with him, and he's got some great things to share with us. But I also want to tell you a couple of things about him. He is a rugby fan, and actually is working with our youth in the area and really helping them become better leaders through rugby. So I think you've started this back a couple of years ago. You've been a rugby fan, but you've grown your team, your whole league incredibly. And I know I think you've gone from 30 to 200 in just a very short time, and with some nationally recognized members now. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that, because I know that you like.
Well, we've been very blessed with how welcome we've been in Clark County, and just the number of kids that want to come out and give rugby a shot, and the support of their parents and all the rest of our community partners. It's not a normal American sport, so there's always challenges there. But I think what's really appealing is the fact that there's a position on the rugby pitch for anybody, tall, skinny, short, skinny, medium size, not so skinny, whatever. There's a position and a job for pretty much every body type, every skill level on the field. There's two types of people that can enjoy rugby and be successful at it, whether it's kids or adults. The first type of person is anybody who's played rugby before. Okay, that's the first part. Of course, they can enjoy it and have a great time and share with their community. The other type of person is those who haven't played rugby before. So if you're in one of those two groups, chances are you could join up with a local club or watch it on TV, or send your kids, have them come learn how to play a sport with us. It's really a sport for everybody. It's a game that you can play from, our club starts in second grade and goes all the way through 12th grade. I go to tournaments all the time. I'm of a certain age, so I play in an old boys tournament on an old boys team. And it's every tournament we go to, there's somebody in purple shorts, which means they're at least 80 years old, right? So it's a lifelong thing, and it's such a welcoming community that I can't speak highly enough about it. We really focus in our club. We focus on three goals, which is, first of all, to have fun. If you're not having fun, then it doesn't. We're just wasting time, and that transcends through life. Everything: sports, school, work, personal life, whatever. Have fun. Second one is support your teammate, right? So you have to know, first of all, in order to be a good teammate, what's your job, and how do you do your job, and how does your job impact those around you? For instance, in rugby, you can't pass the ball forward. It has to go sideways or backwards. And so if you're running the ball down the field and you have a large, angry opponent who's looking to hit you as hard as they can, you have to be able to pass the ball accurately to somebody that you can't see. So your teammate has to be able to know that that's coming and let you know when they want the ball and where they want it. So that's our second goal, support your teammates. Third one is, we call it protect possession. The way the laws of rugby are set up is it really favors the team, what they call team in ascension. So the team that's got the momentum, the team that's either ahead or is making the fewest mistakes. So as long as you're doing the right things, the ball is yours. When I score, you're going to kick it back off to me, and I'm going to go score again. And so when something happens, if there's a penalty or you lose possession of the ball, or you have a number of options available to you, you have to know what they are and how the laws of rugby impact them, and what's the best option right now. And again, all three of those transcend life. And they're all three of these goals, having fun, supporting your teammates, protecting possession, are all things that a kid can decide to do all by himself, independent of anything else.
Yeah.
And if we have all 15 kids on the field doing that, then the outcome, typically, at least in our experience, has been a win, right? And if you don't, then generally it means you just played a team that's better, faster, stronger. Sometimes that happens, so give it your best and walk off the field with your head held high.
Yeah.
And that's what we teach them. And one of the byproducts of that is we have a number of kids every year that are offered rugby scholarships to go continue their education and play some rugby. We've had players from our club play on the USA Eagles. It's our national team on through their development pathway. We've had graduates from our program play in the Marine Corps in the All Marines rugby team. We had a player this last spring that was elected to the collegiate rugby All-American team. So we do really, really well without focusing on the high performance, only the best kids. We've got some really super athletes. We've also got players that are developmentally delayed, on the autism spectrum, some other factor in their life that might put them differently abled than most other people.
Right.
But they join on our team. They have fun. They're able to contribute. They have a great time. They're welcome. So I think that's what makes our sport and our club really great.
Well,
And it's a great analog to business, what we teach.
that's what and that's exactly it. That's why I love to have you bring it up and talk about that, because really, as small businesses, it's important for us to have a team player, and we be a team player.
Mhm.
So I love the way that you guys work with the youth in the area, and I want to have you use that to help us understand how we can be better team players with our bookkeepers and everybody
Sure.
that we bring onto our team. So a couple of the questions that I had to ask you today was, it's year end now, and what are some of the things that we as small business owners kind of need to be aware of? I know that bookkeeping is not my favorite thing to do. That's why I have you on my team. But what things should I be prepared for end of year that I should bring forward? Or you might mention to me, hey, have you done this or have you done that? Can you give us some kind of guidelines of what we should be looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. Generally throughout the year, as a business owner, if you take out any loans, if you get any grants, if you buy any kind of major assets, for instance, if you're an auto shop, if you buy a vehicle lift for your shop, let us know. Those kinds of things get treated differently than a regular, purchase for parts that you're going to sell. If you finance anything, let us know, because we have to keep track of the balance on those notes payable, how much went to interest, and we have to be able to tie those out to your vendor statements at the end of the year. So if you're making payments on a Ford pickup, then we have to be able to take that that end of the year statement from Ford and tie that out to your books. So it's important that as you do that, especially at the end of the year, you let your bookkeeper know, hey, by the way, I bought this and here's the paperwork. I bought a new car. Here's the purchase paperwork. Here's the loan agreement. I have a new credit card, whatever. Or, maybe you had a small balance on a loan that you paid off personally that never touched the business books. We need to know that so that when we turn it into your CPA to get your taxes done, that balance sheet is 100% tied out. So make sure that we've got any pertinent financial documents that maybe we didn't start the year with. So that's a big thing. The second thing is, and this is purely from experience, and every year we run into this, and I'm sure we're not the only firm that does this, but don't refinance your house in January, because you need to have, all the previous years financial statements, and you need to prove that you're bankable and all of that. And we're not going to have that ready for you until, most of our clients until the end of January. If for instance, W-2s and 1099s,
Yes,
they have to be to the employees and contractors by the end of January. So if you're making any major financial moves personally, um, schedule those for after March 15th. That would be stellar. That takes a lot of pressure off of us, off the CPAs, and you end up getting uh, a much better set of books. You know, if you're not having to jam through everything at the last minute, chances are you're going to have a much more accurate set of books. So that'd be
well,
the second one. And then, you know, make sure your bookkeeper has access to any bank accounts, credit cards. Most most lenders now, whether it's for vehicles, for equipment, have online presence. So make sure that we have access to that, not because we want to go spend your money or anything like that. And most of those things, by the way, you can have read-only access or view
good,
only
good to know.
or something
Yeah,
like that. We don't want to be able to spend money or move anything around. What we want to do is be able to get in and get the documents that we need, or look at
yes,
a specific transaction that maybe we have a question on, without having to, you know, hey, Audrey, it's really important, call me back, you know, so that way you don't have to stop what you're doing and answer some goofy question from your bookkeeper. So those are the biggest things, and they all revolve around communication.
right.
Um, you know, I don't know of anybody whose favorite thing to talk about is bookkeeping. Not even me.
Well, most of us have kind of put that on the back burner. Most of myself, even I put it on the back burner because I'd rather be working with clients, doing business, and the
Absolutely,
books, the
doing what you're good
numbers.
at.
Yeah, exactly. And so most of us don't look at that. So what I heard you also say, Bradford, was that we should be maybe checking in with you more than just like, here it is, I'll check back with you at the end of the year. So I know everybody's different, but I hesitate to call because I think, oh, I'm just bothering him. But it sounds like we probably should check in with you, like, and have kind of like a little chat, a
Yep.
little like, let's go over anything, is anything standing out?
Oh,
Or
for sure, for
yeah,
sure. You know
that makes a
those.
good team member.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, whether it's whatever frequency that is, maybe it's monthly, maybe it's quarterly, maybe it's semi-annually, you know, whatever. What it does is it gives us a chance to pause everything else that's going on around us and reconnect. And I mean, there's no dumb questions. You know, I mean, I honestly don't know. I know what you do, and I know you're excellent at it. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try and do what you do with my own team and expect results that you would be able to deliver. And so while it might seem like um, talking with me or whoever a bookkeeper might be or your CPA, it might sound like it's really easy to us. And sometimes it is, but that's what we do, right? I mean, that's what we get paid to do. We do it all day long. Um, I know what you do is not easy. Um, and so we fall into this trap as business owners that because something is easy for us, it means it must not have value to someone else. Because if it's easy for me, then it's got to be easy for you.
Yeah,
And really,
that's a good point,
that
Bradford.
couldn't be farther from the truth. And I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I don't know anybody who goes into business because, you know, I'm great at turning wrenches on a car, but I really really want to do a lot of bookkeeping too. So I'm going to start my own business. Um, no, nobody does that. So it's understandable and it makes sense that that the average business owner, even those who've gone through you know, business school, have college degrees, that they're going to want and need help going through these financial statements, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, statement of cash flows. It's going to make sense that they're going to need and want help doing it, even if they don't want to ask for it because nobody wants to look
I
dumb.
love that. Yeah, I love that you just said that, to go ahead and ask for help. That's, as a business owner, that's one of the hardest things to do because we're so used to doing it by ourselves that
Right.
the last thing you want to do is ask for help because you don't usually have somebody. So to know that somebody's on my team and they've got my back,
Yep.
especially with finances, is a really great way to
Yeah.
kind of understand that. You know, you brought up something that I think maybe has impacted a lot more people than we realized, and that's some of the loans that we've had to take out over the past couple years. And you said, don't forget to tell them about that, because that goes in there. So I don't even think about that. I just kind of keep going. So
Sure.
I guess that's those are those changes that happen during the year. We should just make sure that we get in contact with our bookkeeper, or make sure
Right.
that that particular change has been reported at that
Yep.
time.
Yep. One of the things that we like to do every month with most of our clients, there's going to be transactions that we don't know what to do with.
Mhm.
So if it's money going out, then we'll put that to an uncategorized expense account. If there's money coming in that we don't know what to do with, we'll put that to uncategorized income. And we send those reports out to our clients so that they can help us, help us
Okay.
categorize these. So if we see, like, maybe we're seeing $5,000 come out of the bank every month, and it's the same time every month, it would be really easy for a bookkeeper to say, oh, well, that looks like an owner draw, an owner distribution. It's
Right.
the same amount
Right.
every month. And we're putting that to draws. And the reality is that may be a loan. And so we're underreporting your expenses, and you're going to, one, have inaccurate books, and two, most importantly, most impactful to us right now, we're going to pay more taxes on the money we made than we should. If we're understating our expenses, we're going to pay more in taxes than we need to.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Okay. Good
um,
to know. Talk to me a little bit about taxes. I mean, is that something that I should sit down with, well, obviously my CPA, but the bookkeeper, and say, okay, help me with this. How do we work with that? Or is that something that, how does that happen during the year?
sure. I know more and more CPAs are moving towards more of a planning and consulting model, as opposed to
Right.
just cranking out a pile of taxes at the beginning of the year and calling it a day. Most of them are becoming more consultative, more planning, and the bookkeeper fits in that as well. I think a good analogy um, is a surgeon, head OR nurse, and patient. Okay, we're all there for the same thing, to make sure that the patient gets taken care of.
Yeah.
Um, but the surgeon can't do his job without a team of skilled, trained, dedicated nurses and head OR nurses around them, and they have to be people that they trust, that they're confident in, that they're comfortable with, and all three of those parts come together and result in a patient with a successful surgery, or getting over an illness or something like that. But you know, it all culminates with the benefit to the patient or the client. Okay, so in our case, the CPA, the bookkeeper, um, and the client, we all sort of have different points of view looking at the same thing.
Absolutely.
The client just wants to get their taxes done, and they want to know that they're done on time, and they want to know that they're done right. The CPA is going to be able to see the entire financial universe of the client, personal, business, investing, all of the things. And the bookkeeper is going to have visibility, or be able to see that specific business. Sorry, my light went off. They'll be able to see that specific business. Um, so we'll be able to, the CPA will say, hey, we need you to take this much in payroll, or we need to do this,
Gotcha.
we need to do that. And then it's the bookkeeper's job to make sure that that strategy gets executed. And the
Okay.
client
That's good.
client needs to know, so they know what to expect.
Right. As new businesses, a lot of times there's so many moving parts. It's like, oh, forgot about that.
Right.
So, do you have a checklist of things that like you have your clients uh do, or is it when you sit down with them and you guys we kind of go through everything? And the other question I have is kind of tagging along with this is QuickBooks seems to be kind of like the state of the union, so to speak. It's what everybody's using. So is that something that you kind of direct most of the new businesses to? Because I've had a couple questions that way as well.
Sure. Well, to answer your first question, um, we do have a checklist of sorts. It's not presented that way to our clients,
Mhm.
but our checklist at the end of the accounting cycle, so when we're done with the books for the previous month or the previous quarter, whatever frequency we work on our clients with, they can expect an email basically saying, hey, we're done for the month. Please find the attached reports. And that's going to be
Oh,
your profit and loss or your income statement. Both of those names mean exactly the same thing. It's generally going to include the balance sheet, which is really the center of your business's financial world. If your balance sheet is inaccurate or it hasn't been tied out properly, which means proven, okay, if we can't prove that it's right, then nothing in your financial in your books is going to be right. You can't count on any of it. So the profit and loss, the balance sheet, and then the uncategorized expenses, uncategorized income, those are going to be there as well. Many of our clients have specific custom reports that they like us to run for them, and so we'll do that too. Some of our clients like to track classes of expenses and income. A lot of our property flippers do that. So we'll give a P&L by class or a P&L by job. So at the end of the month, our clients know we're done because we tell them, hey, we're done. Here's the reports that you need to look at. Please let me know if you have any questions, give me a call, whatever. And then we store those reports in an encrypted, secure client portal that we both have access to. And in the perfect world, all of our clients are going to be waiting on bated breath for those reports to show up, and they're going to go over them with a fine-tooth comb, and they're going to hit us with a bunch of questions, which some of the clients that we have that do, they usually start an email with or a phone call with, hey, I'm really sorry to bother you. And it's not a bother at all. It's actually really cool. Like, they read my work. I put some time into this, and they're paying attention to it. This is cool. But it's a way to answer those, hey, I've never really understood this. And honestly, a dirty little accounting secret that most people don't know is the financial statements are written in a way that a reasonably educated and experienced financial professional can make sense out of them. Okay, it's like trying to read legal paperwork. The legal documents are written so lawyers and judges can read them, not so that the average, business owner or average consumer can understand them. So if it looks weird and it's hard to understand, I don't know that's intentional, but they're sort of designed that way.
So don't feel like it's like, oh, I'm not
Correct.
getting it, because it really is. So it is a different language, which is, thank you for sharing that too, because that's really
for sure
important to understand. It's like, I need somebody to, what I call collapse the time for me to get to where I need to be. And
exactly.
That's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need you for.
And as far as your accounting software goes, QuickBooks, especially QuickBooks Online, is incredibly popular and common. There's a lot of really cool stuff to it. They've made it really, really easy to get in, both for the business owner and for the bookkeeper and the CPAs. They've really, really sort of reinvented how the data is used and manipulated and stored and gotten to. And it's really cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do, a lot of powerful reports, a lot of neat stuff.
What are the most popular ones right now for a lot of your clients that you would recommend for a small business just getting started?
Sure. So we recommend, the first one we generally recommend for most of our clients is QuickBooks Online. Just because one of the reasons, because it's so readily available and we have so many of our clients that use it. So it's very easy for us to move one client to the next within QuickBooks Online, and it provides some uniformity and some commonality for us. So we really like it. But like anything else, it's got things it's really, really good at, things that drive you nuts all the time. There's other accounting platforms. There's Xero. Sage has an accounting platform. You can find like FreshBooks for smaller businesses. There's one of my clients just turned me on to an application called Wave that has a free to use online accounting function, which I think is really kind of cool. I've started using it. It's pretty trimmed down. It doesn't have the same buzzers and whistles that maybe QuickBooks Online has. But for the clients who are just starting out, business owners who are just starting out, it's probably fine. It's like taking somebody who just got their driver's license and giving them a Ferrari. They're going to crash it and make a mess, guarantee you, right?
Mhm.
So QBO is a great platform. Some people don't like it, some people love it, but there's definitely options out there for sure.
Okay, good. Is there anything else? Oh, I did have a question about receipts. You know, we all have
Mhm.
receipts in our lives.
Oh yeah.
Is there any good way to handle those things?
Yes. And there's no one right answer, because what I'm going to tell you is it might be a different answer from another bookkeeper or another accountant. But in general, keep all your receipts, keep them. It doesn't matter if they live in a Ziploc bag, a shoebox. We've had clients who have literally come in with the plastic shopping bags full of receipts and empty ketchup packets and corn dog
Oh my
sticks.
goodness.
I charge extra to deal with the corn dog sticks, by the way. But keep them. The way our firm works with our client management platform, with the secure client portal, there's a mobile app and a desktop app that are very easy to use. So when you get if you're at Home Depot and you say, yes, email me the receipt, you can take that email and just stick it right in our portal and we can see it. You can take a picture of something and send it to our portal. Um, Most of the time we can know by looking at a transaction what it is,
Yeah.
but not always, right? um, for instance, our restaurant clients, and this is a great example of why it's important to give us the receipts. Restaurant clients, because we're right next to Portland, they'll duck over to Jansen Beach or Hayden Island. They'll go to Restaurant Depot and they'll buy food, they'll buy ingredients, which in Washington, you don't have to pay sales tax on because you're going to resell it. But they also buy pots, pans, catering equipment. Those things you do have to pay sales tax on. And they'll all be on the same receipt. And if all we see is the transaction rolling in from the bank, we could inadvertently get you in a lot of trouble with the state of Washington for not paying your use tax. Now, if we have that receipt, we can look at it. And with vendors like that one in particular, you can
Mhm.
tell them, hey, please organize my receipts this way, and they'll
Right.
group things together, right? And I know a lot of our construction clients have vendors that'll do the same thing, but gives us the ability to look at the receipt and figure out how much we need to track for use tax to pay when we do your sales and B&O tax. So those things are really, really important. Um, if you're if you're a builder and you go to Home Depot, if you're going to buy rags or booties for your feet or furniture polish for the cabinets that you just installed, you have to pay sales tax on all those things. If you're buying lumber, if you're buying doors, plumbing fixtures, whatever that's going to stay at the house, if you have your reseller's permit, you don't pay tax on those. So those things, it's important that we have the receipts for. And um, there have been a lot more sales tax audits in the last couple of
Mm.
years, ever since
That's right.
COVID.
That's right.
Um, so that helps us. That helps us really stand up, stand tall for what we've done, and protect our clients and say, yeah, here's the receipts. We paid the sales tax on it. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, Bradford, is that to check in with the bookkeeper, your bookkeeper, and really talk about some of the specifics, because each industry has got their own kind of lane, so to speak, and things to
Mm.
write off and so forth. Any types of loans, be really informed. Don't do like big things at the beginning of January, like refi and so forth. So it's
Right.
all in timing, and
Mhm.
all in understanding. But we as business owners know that there's certain timing in our businesses too. So, but
Right.
to really bring you in and regularly check in is just fine. And to not understand what some of this terminology is, it's just, doesn't quite connect exactly what it is. You can break it down for us really quickly. You can bring us to that point very quickly. So,
Right, exactly. It's like when you talk to your pharmacist and they can rattle off that medication that has a name this big.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce that.
yeah.
I don't know what
Just
it
tell me
is.
what I need to do, right?
Right, exactly. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to not do, and we'll all be good. And it also, I mean, honestly, business changes, right? So as
Yes.
an individual business grows and changes, they start doing this, they stop doing this, they add this, and they take it out for because they're growing. They're trying to figure out what works. And so the nature of what your bookkeeper does for you has to change as well. And if there's not that communication, friction starts. You know, we don't know that the client wants us to start doing this, or they want to know this, and we're not giving it to them. And in their mind, they're like, "Well, these guys should know this, but we won't unless you talk to us." Likewise, you know, we've had clients in the past that want to help, and they keep doing things wrong, especially in different ways. And then we get aggravated and it just it starts building resentment. And all of a sudden that relationship crumbles, goes away, and both parties part unhappy with each other, thinking that they didn't get what they want or whatever. And so that communication really helps keep a strong, mutually respectful and trusting relationship.
Right.
And you know,
That's super important, which is why I love the fact that we started this conversation with rugby and, what does your team member need and how are you going to pass to it? You can't pass ahead. So that's a beautiful analogy and what to do. And I think that is often what happens is we don't understand the whole thing. So bringing a bookkeeper on really helps relieve me of some things that I know I don't do well, and I don't have to do them. And I'm so excited about that. So
yeah,
um,
exactly.
yeah,
You know, you stick with what you do best and depend on those around you who are
yeah,
who are great at those things. It's that interdependency, you
right.
know, because I ask someone to help me out in this area of my business doesn't mean that I can't do it. It means that I'm focused on this because this is the core of what I do. This also needs to get done, and you're really good at it, and you can help me with it, and I can be confident that I know it's going to get done right.
Yeah.
Or if it's not, we can work through it and we can fix it, and we can all learn and improve as our businesses grow.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I want to thank you, Bradford, for being on today. This is Audrey Clark. I have the Profitable Holistic Business Professional, and I am doing right now a series on the anatomy of a business because we need to understand everything. So thank you for joining me, and I will be bringing other experts on to help you understand more about what you can do for your business and how to do it successfully.